Thanks for joining us. I'm Britt Fogg with Shiloh Technologies. I'm founder and CEO at Shiloh. I really focus on research and development right now, so I get to have a lot of fun in the work that we do here. Shiloh, we've been working with Walmart data for over 25 years, back to the earliest days of Retail Inc., and been doing all retailers, a lot of retailers, 90 plus, for over 15 years. So we've had a lot of fun working in the retail space and understanding what's going on. So today we're going to talk about some of the capabilities of our platform and things that we think are important to know in your journey in retailing, moving forward, what's going on. So one of the first questions we want to address is, why do you need a third party? Why do you need somebody like Shiloh to help you with analytics in retail? The very first thing is experience in retail and the expertise across retail with other retailers, other kinds of businesses, even within a retailer, other departments in that retailer, other categories. That experience, that broad base of understanding is really important to have. And you want to find that in your partners. You want to make sure you find somebody that's got best in class capabilities. If you're building out technology, doing things internally, how are you certain you're truly bringing in best of class capabilities to your analytics team? Automation and monitoring. There's a lot of data that moves around between the retailers and the suppliers and all the different things that happen. Making sure that's just taken care of and it's not something that you need to spend your time on, we think is really important. Your time to insights. How fast can you turn the data around into things that are valuable to get your return on investment that you'll make across your teams that we go sell more, to help you get to more product on the shelf, into the consumers' baskets, and out the door. And then some advanced analytic capabilities. So these are really things that you should expect a partner, a third party like Shiloh, to bring to the game. So we say, then why Shiloh? We've got 25 plus years of experience, been doing this for a long time. We've got experience across over 90 retailers, really around the globe. We experience across every department in the store. We have customers that have been in every department in the store that exists. So we've got a broad base of experience. It's amazing how much you learn in the tire department from what happens with bread, things like that. So that experience across the entire store is very important to have. Best in class capabilities, generative AI, that's the new cool tool in the world right now, and assistance to help you get your jobs done. That's been a high focus area for us. That's where we're investing a lot of time and money right now, is to bring those things to life in retail. And I'll show you a little bit of that today while we're going through the demo. We're going to spend most of our time, hopefully, in product demos. Automation and monitoring, that's how third parties like Shiloh scale and stay profitable and are able to go do things for a lot of people and make sure those work good every day. So we are required to engineer and do a really good job with that. Time to insights. The real key is you want somebody that's got most common insights are already in the box. You don't start out having to build a lot of things. We're going to show some Gen AI stuff today where you really want the tech to do that work for you, do some of that heavy lifting. So you spend your time in selling the story from the insights to get change, to go get things done so that you will sell more in retail. And then advanced analytic capabilities. It's important when you think about third parties like Shiloh is that those folks have a lot of retail specific experience. Retail has got some very unique things about it. Third party tools like Power BI, Tableau, those are all really nice tools, but they don't understand our space. They don't understand necessarily where we work. So they've got some real gaps. They got some things that become really hard to do if you're just working with those third party tools. The Shiloh team. Our entire team and our product has really lived the retail life for 30 years. That's really what we do. We've hired specifically in our team to look like your teams. We know that if we don't bring in that experience and make that experience be part of our leadership, we'll never really truly understand what your needs are. So that's something that we focus on. We're going to talk about your life a little bit. And today we're going to focus on certain things that are really common. The first thing is Monday reporting. Everybody's got reports and insights and briefings that they have to deliver on Monday mornings. You have to do briefings now. That's kind of becoming one of the new standards, which is not just the report, but a recap of the report. What's really going on in the business? What we also know to be true is all of these things, the reports and the briefings, just lead to more questions. And so it's really important that you have to be able to drill down past that first answer, past that dashboard, past that first visualization to the second, third, fourth, and fifth round of questions, because that's really where analysis comes to work. That's really where your analyst has to start doing their job is to answer those questions you didn't know to answer last week. Critical to do that. And then alerting to stay ahead of things. So now the goal is get those things done, get those things out of your way. So now you actually have time to go be proactive, to seek out opportunities. So that's Shiloh. That's why Shiloh. Let's talk about our product a little bit. So we're going to flip over and show our product. This is our dashboard interface. I'm logged into the ShilohNEXT site for our portal. This is a dashboard that's an example of a business overview. This is a pretty standard kind of dashboard view that a lot of people want to have available, access to their business, want it to be updated every day, most current date all the time. But the real thing that you want these kinds of dashboards to do is tell you about it at a high level. How's business going? Are things good? Are things bad? Where should I go drill in and do more work? These are also dashboards that we're seeing a lot of clients now. This is the way they've started to share data with their partners and with their customers, is actually sharing these dashboards live and online. So we think that's a really exciting thing that can happen. So instead of you having to email out big, huge reports that are static and stale, but the minute they go out, give people access to be able to see things online together. Standard dashboard, show me weekly sales. This is a 52-week trend. Now, one of the key things that the Shiloh platform does for you is almost all of these visuals that we're going to show today have been built with our generative AI technology. So you don't have to go hire experts that really understand technology. Basically, you say, Shiloh, here's the data that I have. Help me understand what are the best ways to visualize this data to tell those most common stories. So we see we've got sales. You can see this particular demo that I have. Now, this is demo data. This is not real data, but this demo data is designed, it's engineered. We've got some tools that go build data for us that make it look like real live retail data. Weekly sales, I can see my trends. I can see that I bid up. This particular business model we're looking at is a very seasonal model. So you can see I've got some real peaks in at Thanksgiving and some more peaks around Christmas. I can see what's going on. I can see at the bottom, and this is where the tech has made some decisions to say, you want to see sales last year and sales change. It has split sales change out to a separate pane for us automatically, because it makes it much easier to consume that and see that. And that is simply the tech based upon historical things that our customers have done. It uses that data to go make some decisions about what's the best way to visualize this particular data set. You see to the right, it shows me some of the reasons, some of the whys behind sales being down. You can see that, in the last 13, 14, maybe almost 26 weeks, my sales have been down over the last year. To the right, I see a breakout of that. What's driving that? First question is it by channel? Well, I see the delivery and pickup are actually up. They're positive. My biggest loss year over year has been in buy in store. Now we talk about dashboards. That's a great insight, but now I'm asking more questions. How do I go answer that next question about, okay, I'm down at buy in store. Is it something else that's going on? Let me go check and see. This is what we call a feature switcher. So now I can go flip this visual to be driven by anything that I might want. Maybe I want to go look at it by category. Is it something that's category specific? Now I'm starting to understand more about what is, okay, I'm not down in deodorant and disinfectant soap, shower gel's flat. I'm actually really down in soft soaps and bath and shower. So now I've had that first question, why am I down? It's channels. So now I may want to go focus on some things like just look at just that channel. So now I'm going to go up to our filter bar. You see at the top, I've got the ability to filter things. These two channels are really what I care. These two categories are what I care about, soft soaps, bath and shower. So we're going to go category and pick soft soaps and what do I say, bath and shower. Now I can go change this. So what the Shiloh technology lets us do is apply that filter, and now everything I'm looking at is now focused on just those two things. So I can quickly go answer that first question and now start to answer more questions about what's going on. Now at this point, seeing it by category maybe doesn't make sense. So maybe I'll change this visual to go do it by state or service channel. Let's go look at it by market name. And these are market names that come from the retailers, and so they don't always make a lot of sense. All of these visuals, you can see in this case, I've got a lot of markets. There's a lot of data to see. I can always go zoom in on the things that are the best. Okay, that's what my best things are. Or I can zoom out, okay, what's my worst? So it's real easy to be dynamic inside these visuals to see different things. So not only do I see my trends, I was able to quickly filter it down to the two categories that are my problem And now I flipped over to see what it was by that. And maybe I want to go change that to be looking at subcategory. I've got a category label, maybe the subcategories will tell me something. Now I'm beginning to learn even more about my problem with recent sales. Men's gift pack, moisturizing, and foaming are my three ones that are down. Our demo company is Paper Street Soap, and it's designed to be like a retailer that's selling stuff like that, soaps, shampoo, things like that. Dashboard at this point now again is limited to just those two categories. As I scroll down, I'm now looking at my markdowns by state. And this is actually my markdowns by store by state. So this is my markdowns per store count. If you don't normalize the data to be per store, a map like this will always make California and Texas look like the best or the worst place to look at. This is telling me that, you know what, I've really got a problem in the upper Midwest, in the Northwest, and some in the Southeast. Maybe I want to go know more about what's going on. This is to the right, the same data, but visualized in a different way. And you'll notice that it's actually telling me that my Puerto Rico stores are my worst on a per store basis. Now, our maps don't have Puerto Rico as a visual. We do have Alaska and Hawaii on these. So I'm not able to visualize that and see that there, but within Puerto Rico, I know that. Florida is the next. Then I can go drill in and say, I want to go say, okay, in Puerto Rico, what are the details? What items are my problem? Now I'm getting down and saying, okay, I've got a real problem with my Great Southern Women's Gift Pack. I can go drill that down and go look at what my markdown is per store. Now, again, demonstration data. I hope you don't have any business that is this bad with markdowns. But the idea is that I've got different ways to visualize the same data that help me continue to go answer the questions about why I'm down in these two categories where I'm down. Let's scroll down. We'll see some other ways to visualize it. I can see that for those items, I really don't have an in-stock problem now. I did, I don't know, like 10, 15 weeks ago, but we've recovered nicely. We're back in good states on my in-stock numbers, and I can see that I'm okay there. This is the same data I saw above, but a different visualization of it. Another thing that you would then go do is I want to go drill into some more of the details. So this is the standard drilled in kind of interface. It shows me, okay, bath and showers down 11.8%. And so this is going to be, I'm going to use an example of doing this digging, this drilling, this looking for the answers in a manual way. So I can go drill down below this category and look at the subcategories. I can look in the subcategory that I'm down 49% in my men's gift pack. I can drill down below that and probably go down to an item level. So now I'm seeing the items that are the problem. I see that I'm down quite a bit in this Far East gift pack as a percentage, but I'm really not down in terms of dollars. So I don't really care about that one as much. This is the guy, the Lies Men gift pack is really where my issue is with my sales being down year over year. But I had to go through this manually. I had to go drill into each of these to go find those things. The next thing we'll talk about is where we have a generative AI engine. It's actually gone out and it's written a recap of the business for me. And it's already done some of that digging to go find those things that are going on. So you can see this has the two categories that we talked about. These filters match the filter that I put on the entire dashboard. I'm in context. And then I rewrote this narrative to tell me what's going on. So if I go look at bath and shower, sure enough, it's down 11.8%. That's the same number I saw up here, 11.8%. But it's already done some of the digging. It's already done the work to tell me some of the whys. It says that's actually down 61% of the decline. It's down year over year. It's down 2.2 million. Then it's already broken it down for me by subcategory: women's gift pack, men's gift pack, what the sales were. The normal green is good, red is bad, and it tells me what's going on. Then it's even gone further to tell me, is that because of a change in velocity? I'm actually up in velocity. My demand is actually up a little bit, but I'm down in distribution. I'm down 12% in distribution, and I'm also down in price. So the combination of distribution being down and price being down is one of the primary reasons that I am selling less. I'm down 11.8% in that particular category. Another thing that we want the tech to do is to go identify some key things that are going on, things that are moving, that are gaining. I'm going to go back and remove these filters because the rest of the story that I have is going to be more interesting if we're back looking at the entire business. So you can see I can go remove that filter. Now Shiloh is going through and doing all the work of regenerating all of these visuals. So it's very, very dynamic and very fluid in how I can apply filters. If I go look at my movers, I can see this particular item, this Paper Street moisturizing bar, is actually lost 25 positions in the overall business. So relative to the entire set of data that I'm looking at, I'm losing ground on these two items. Now, the opposite side of that is where I'm gaining ground. And so we have some items that are actually up. And bacterial soap is up 4 positions, up 4, that's up 3, 3 to 2. So I'm not down everywhere, but I definitely have a problem with these items at the top. These are the ones that are really losing ground. I didn't already know that. I now know that and know that much better. I might want to go change this to limited on time. So, okay, that's for the last 52 weeks, that's down. One of the things that we do, and this is something that's really hard to do with some of the third-party tools, Power BI, Tableau, those guys, is they don't really have a concept of fuzzy dates. And fuzzy dates are very, they're the norm in retailing. You expect to be able to do this. Maybe I want to go just focus on the last 4 weeks or the last 13 or the last 26. I can easily go up as a filter and add another filter to it and say, I want to narrow this down to just for the last 4 weeks. Who are my movers? We can see now that the movers in the last 4 weeks has changed. Live men's gift pack is really down in the last 4 weeks number. So it's that easy for me to go flip over and do something different with that. Another common thing that we want to be able to do inside retail is deal with mod drops. And so mod drops are really what we call smart filters, in that it's not just a filter on time. If you're in multiple categories or have multiple mods that might drop at different times of the year, that filter is going to be smart enough to understand these items dropped on these dates and these items dropped on another date. And so by using the mod drop filters, we actually get smart filters that actually have the understanding and know how to go do that and apply it to our data. We'll take that last 4 filter back off. You can see every time I've changed the filters, whether it was the one we did on time or the one we did on category, everything gets refreshed. Now the sales briefing takes quite a bit longer. I would say quite a bit. It takes a little bit longer than the others to refresh, because every time we change the filter, it goes back and does all of the deep digging. It goes through all of the data to tell us those things that really are worth reading about, knowing about. This is kind of like the briefing that we see more and more you're being expected to deliver to your partners and to your leadership. They don't want to look through this entire dashboard. They just want to go read the highlights. So it's important that tech works that way and also has that kind of filtering. Another common thing is that, yeah, this is a great overcap. This is a great recap. All this dashboard did was tell me all my KPIs, did a great job of that. But I may have some really specific questions. Maybe the leadership calls up and somebody says, okay, why are we down 3.4 million in this particular category for this item, this one item? Why is the antibacterial refill down? Now we can use another generative AI feature inside Shiloh, is we can go say, okay, I'm going to go ask Shiloh, why are sales where they are? Now, again, this takes a little bit of time because Shiloh's doing a tremendous amount of research and digging, going through a ton of data to figure some of those reasons out. Now it's kind of giving us a recap of why were sales for that $23 million. Is the same thing we saw above. It's written a recap for us. These are things contributing to sales. These are things that detracting from sales. And so we really talked about 3 different ways to have the generative AI work for me. First, it built these visuals for me. Didn't have to go do that work. I may want to tweak them a little bit, and we'll talk in a minute about how you can go tweak them. Then it wrote a recap for me, going through all the details to go do that for me. And then on as needed basis, I can just go ask Shiloh to tell me more about it. So really powerful ways to work through the data to get past that first and second question, maybe even get to the third question, the third why. Is every fact you deliver is almost always followed up with another question about why. In this dashboard, we got some other representations of data. Here's some data from our partners at Weather Trends, so I can go see what impact weather has had for me. Again, a geographical representation of that is nice because it tells me, for the precip this year versus last year, I'm a lot wetter in the Northwest than I was last year. Different ways to visualize that. Here's some information to show me some forecast data. So this is on my forecast accuracy, forecast historically. Again, the tech has decided that the best way to visualize whether I was forecasting above or below sales is to split that pane out to a second pane. It makes it much easier to see that than to see those numbers mixed in with these. But it's also showing me what the forecast is going out for the next, and I think this is probably a 30-week forecast out into the future. That depends on who's forecasting, how much data they're going to provide, how far out of a view they give you. But the tech has automatically built for us the ability to say, I really need to see what my forecast is relative to what my sales were last year. And so you can see the black area mark is sales last year projected into future weeks. So again, the tech has done the heavy lifting to go make the data be able to represent like this way. A really common thing that everybody wants to do, tech has done that work for us. That's another thing that's particularly hard to do if you're just using third-party tools and some of the raw data. And then below this, we just have another representation of, this is where I want to go see the top 10 things based upon sales. This one's actually showing me sales by brand. Again, with the feature switcher, I can go flip that over and go look at it by subcategory. I can on the fly go change things. Now, this particular data set we're looking at is I'm actually a category manager, so I may have multiple vendors that are in this. I can go see what are my top 10 vendors one way or the other. Easily go change these to be dynamic, be able to change things on the fly. So I can go answer those follow-up questions that always happen. Talk a little bit about how we can share this. One of the things that we can do with these dashboards is we can actually have them be emailed. So in this case, if I press the email, whatever filters I have set, whatever changes I've made to the visuals, this email will contain that. One of the tricks in email, and you can see I did one right before that we started today, just so I already have it here, is we're really limited in what we can do inside an email. We can't send that highly dynamic, very fluid dashboard in an email because we're not allowed to do that for security reasons. But we can send images. So you can see this has all of the things in that dashboard have been rendered for me inside an email. It's also giving me all the data. In the dashboard, I might only see 10 or 15 of these rows. This is going to show you everything that's going to be there. My in-stock trends, my sales growth, my category performance drill down, the briefing. My briefing is also included in this email. This is really common for folks to just go take this and say, I'm going to send this off, forward this text off to somebody else every Monday as part of the briefing that they expect me to provide. Item movers, and then this has actually got so much in it that Google makes me go do a separate email. So I won't bother with that for now. One of the ways that you can go do that. Now, you can also print them. You can print any web page. That's not an unusual or different thing. If you print it, you only get what's visible. So the advantage to our emailing capability is everything is drilled down. I would see all of the data for this, not just this area that's visible on the dashboard. Okay, now let's talk about, I've answered the first question, the second question. Now I've got to get down to the third, fourth, or fifth question. And these are questions that I really had no knowledge that I needed to be able to figure this out last week. So I'm going to go drill through one of these visuals and go do more digging, go do more analytics. So here I can go in, and I didn't cover this earlier. Every one of these visuals can be either printed or exported out. The export's going to be either an image or an Excel spreadsheet, depending on the type of visual that it is. But I want to go open this in the Visual Designer. This is our interface where you go do ad hoc analytics, and you can go drill and play and try a lot of different things out. So this is that visual that we just looked at. I'm seeing sales last year, % change. I can go over and pick different features. I can pick different metrics. Maybe I just want to go see the data behind this. And so I can go click over and look at the data. Now I'm going to see just the data that represents that visual. Maybe I want to go add some data to it. Okay, that's by year week. You can set it by week. I want to go see it by, let's go look at it by fine line. So I can easily go flip the metrics. Now, this is another case where our generative AI is figuring out, based upon historical information that we have, watching the patterns over time and how things are visualized, is figuring out the best way to visualize this based upon the visual that I have selected. So it said for a data set, I'm going to go ahead and give some conditional formatting showing you up or down. That's a pretty easy one to figure out. If I want to go do that as a chart, maybe I want that visualized. It's figuring out the best way to do that. And you can see it again, it's still deciding to pick the up or down as a separate pane inside that. Maybe I want it to be a chart that shows things sideways because it's easier to read the labels. Maybe I want it to be a pie chart. Pie charts are valuable sometimes. In this case, that's not very important or that's not very exciting. Maybe a tree map. Okay, now this is showing me by fine line where my growth is, my sales, and then the buckets show me the relevance to that. If I want to go see it some other way, all I have to do is just go pick the data that I want to go see, and I go pick those two things, and that's going to re-render that for me. So a lot of the work that goes into preparing these visuals and putting them on a dashboard, that's really what we want our tech to do for you, to take that work away so you really spend your time on the analytics, and actually the selling opportunity. You have to go sell these things to folks to change their behavior, to get them to do something different. Sometimes the funnels or the pyramids are a good way to tell that story. So all these visuals are choices that you have. The briefing that we looked at earlier, briefings can become very long and a lot to read. So some of the choices you have in the briefings is to go say how much you want. So I don't have supply chain alerts turned on or sales alerts turned on. If I wanted those to be included in this briefing, all I have to do is just turn these on. And now the tech is going to go do some additional digging, some additional research, and tell you more about the business based upon those settings that we have. I can also choose to do it with different hierarchies. In this case, I'm doing category, subcategory item. You may want to do it by brand and then by category, by whatever hierarchies that make sense to your business. Or you may want 5 different sales briefings that have 5 different hierarchies that focus on different metrics. So based on the metrics that I've given it, that's what I've told the system what to go right, what to go do. You can see now it's included some supply chain alerts, my in-stock alerts for these 2 items, and how many do I have that are a problem? And specifically within those, what's the value, what's the opportunity in resolving this? And so this one is at 91%. That's a $67,000 opportunity for me. The tech's done all that research for me. All I had to do is tell it that, yes, I do want the supply chain alerts in this. So this is where we can really go do analytics. I may even want to start out with a blank page. I've got to go answer questions that I don't even have a place to start from. They want to go see by banner, and I want to go see what sales were. Now, this is all the metrics that we have, which includes a lot of calculated values as well. So a minute ago, we looked at the markdowns, and we were looking at the markdown amounts. I promise you, if you do markdown amounts by state, Texas and California win every time because they have the most stores. I really want to go see what markdown is per store. And so that's a calculated metric that's already in the data for me. The Gen AI has done that for me because it knows that if I don't do a per store number, I'm going to see some things that are misleading. I'm going to go look at it by banner. And now we can see across banners what my real numbers are per store. So I really see that my Walmart online pickup delivery has got a $9 problem per store, but that's really only one store. That's one instance of that occurrence happening. So don't care about that. With Supercenters, Walmart, you can see the different numbers. So again, I can go quickly do this, visualize this, and now share this with somebody. I may want to save this and put it on a dashboard. So back on our dashboard page that we were on a minute ago, all I have to do if I want to go put a new visual on this is put this dashboard in the mode where it lets me pick visuals. I didn't save that visual we just did, so I can't pick it. But I can go over all the visuals that are available, and there will be thousands of them. I can go in and go say, you know what, I want to go add, let's go to this one. Let's go add this rank example. I have no idea what that is, but I can go add this to this dashboard. So on the fly, it adds that, sticks it at the bottom, and I can go resize it, put it somewhere else in the page. All the normal things that you can do with dashboards are available to me here. So this lets you let the engine go do a lot of work, create a lot of these visuals for you, do that heavy lifting of how to get the data, how to query the data, how to visualize the data. Then you can bring it together into the dashboard interface. It makes it really easy for you to go share that with folks. Either share the dashboard, they get access to it interactively, have it emailed out. You can set up emails that are automatic. You can print them if that's the best way to do it. So a lot of different ways for you to work. And as a result of this, you're going to have a lot of different kinds of dashboards. And so there's really no limit to the number of dashboards that you have. They need to be easy to navigate. This is easy for me to get around through them. Some of these dashboards have a lot of things in it. So this is a quick way for me to go just navigate within that dashboard to specific sections of it. And sometimes you see this presented as tabs across the bottom instead of as down the left-hand side. This demo is set up to go down the left-hand side. One more example, we're running out of time quickly, is this is an example of using data where I have competitive data as well. So I'm a category manager. I have access to third-party data like from Nielsen, those folks. I have some data that tells me, lets me compare performance and where I've got winners and losers in the business. And so the top just shows me my sales and my basket counts. This is showing me, this is a visual generated by the tech based upon the winners and losers logic that that model has. It said Jaguar Ventures is actually losing. We're winning. Paper Street Soap Company, that's my company, that's my demo company. We're actually winning that business. So you can see where Jaguar Ventures had a drop. I had 3 people that really had an uptick that took that business away from them. And they recovered a little bit. That was probably an in-stock issue, something like that. But you can see that everybody that got some of that business is keeping some of that business. So whatever happened to cause this drop in their percentage of the business is a permanent thing and really taking business away from them. So this is a good story. To the right of that, we see some of the same kind of information, but it's really focused on price. Who's taking an increase in price? Who's taking a drop in price? Is it a price-related thing that's driving this business up or down, things like that? So it's another way to visualize the same kind of story to understand more of the why. Why did that happen? Why are these guys winning now? Is it because of price? And it looks like in this case it is. So Paper Street is actually doing a pretty good job with pricing. They're using price to take some of that business away. Other examples here, this is by department, by manufacturer. Here's some examples of some data coming in from some third parties. This is household penetration trends, pretty basic stuff. But the idea is I can bring in data with third party like Shiloh. I can bring in data from a lot of different sources, multiple retailers, multiple customers' data sets, third party data sets, census data, weather data, all those things. I can bring all of that data to bear against my need to understand why things are what they are and how I go sell more. End of the day, that's how we are judged, is are we helping you to sell more? All right, my notes tell me that I am out of time. Insights dashboards, this is just a recap of kind of what we saw there. They're the best visuals, tell the stories, filtering, dynamic, Gen AI, giving you briefing in the data. It will share it with you, your team, your partners. And the real bottom line is you really got to be able to tell that story in multiple ways, because everybody you tell that story to may need to see it or experience it in a different way. Some people like numbers, some people like pictures, some people like the words. So we want to be able to do all those things. And the visual designer, the real first key to that is it's simple and it's ad hoc. Let me easily go drill, filter, revisualize, do different things. The generative AI building the visuals for me is a huge time saver. And we want you to take that time that you've now saved and go sell more with that, to go do more things. Go be proactive in what you're looking for. Don't wait on those questions, but go be proactive and find those things out before the question even comes. And then other things that we're able to do inside that visual designer is embed other kinds of tools into the analytics so you get even faster ROI. So for example, our business planning application can actually live inside of a dashboard. So at the same place you're forecasting, planning your business is the same place that you would do your analytics. ScriptOX, master data management is always important. If you don't have your master data right, the way you attribute things, the way you describe your items in your stores and things like that, if you don't have that right, nobody will trust all the other numbers. And so we've invested heavily in our MDM capabilities. Excel Connect. It's an add-in for Excel. Excel is still required in a lot of cases. There's still a lot of cases where our customers have to send Excel-based documents out to folks. And so we've embedded our tech inside Excel. So it's actually an add-in in Excel. So you can go do a lot of what I just did with Excel and do it directly and make it an automatic thing where it can be batched up and sent out automatically on an as-needed basis. Thanks for your time. If you have any questions, we'd love to talk to you more. We'd love to do demonstrations for this. Contact information is included in the information that's posted on the site. Reach out to Cheryl Yarborough at Shiloh Technologies, ShilohNEXT.com. We'd love to talk to you more about what we do. There's so much more that we haven't shown today. We just had 30 minutes to go through this. Thank you.